these rosters mixed up a little bit, communication's not going to be as crisp as we're used to. So these solo pushes, these like nice aggressive plays that we might be seeing from Russia or a Valiate or Zampa over in North America that they're known for could be quite big.
And I suppose that's where it comes down to testing yourselves, getting in the waters, throwing yourself down, and picking the IGL, listening to that one individual player. There's many out there on many different teams, but only one can lead them to victory. It looks like game one, map one, day one is about to get underway. It's going to be Miramar. The plane is in the air. And honestly, Matt, we have no idea where these teams are going. We've seen the scrims. We can try and guesstimate all day. But for all we know, we could have hot drops straight off the bat.
And that's what I love about these first couple of rounds of events. Sometimes it can be a little chill where everybody's just trying to figure out what's going on. But this is a tempo-setting game, because now everybody's going to get a little bit of extra space on the point boards, or we might actually have to see them trying to catch back up onto it. So naturally, everybody's going to be a little bit calm off the get-go, but nobody knows how this could lay out. We can see there is a clump of people going right over Chumasera right now. That looks like that's Japan and Turkey. Naturally, we also have a couple of teams that are going to be looking for buying for potentially Picado back over towards the north. I wouldn't be surprised if we see San Martin get a little bit of attention as well.
The road to being crowned the Nations Cup 2019 champion starts now. Remember, we are only 3 days of this competition. There is only 15 games. If you muck this up early on and you go down in 16th, you're losing points early. Initial, we said this, contact could be made potential. It is. Japan and Turkey, they meet. They're on the far side down to the south, more towards the Kumasiri side. You have the high side, you have the low side. At the moment, I think the initial one might be Mur here.
Japan's got the guns. You can see they're just on the hunt. Turkey is going to be the first blood of this event. But I think everybody else from Turkey is already on the run, trying to separate out as much as they can.
If I'm not mistaken, this did actually happen, the same scenario in the scrims. Japan took the high side, Turkey got the low, and they were forced down. They had to back out from this.
Oh, that
screen,
circle.
I'm just seeing...
Look at that. That is far up towards the northeast. Look at the cluster of the teams. Everybody jumped really, really early, so that means it's going to be some very messy rotations coming into play.
Okay, we do have the fight down in the bottom left. We will keep tabs on it, but something I want to touch on with that circle. Who's in the central point? It's going to be Germany. And guess what? Germany is a full squad, and that's where they usually go.
Oh, my God. That is going to make it so rough for so many of these teams that are going to be rotating through. We can see that it's been a little bit of an interesting start for everybody, but a lot of these teams have managed to carve out their own specific location. Looking back over at Thailand right now, we're talking about Duckmans. This guy put on a show, but Minoru is a guy we have got to keep an eye on as well. That guy is absolutely fire right now.
We'll have a quick discussion about where teams are. We can see the map, so we'll just try and break this one down further. You saw that initial contact was made. Japan, Turkey around just above Kumasiri side, where the silos are. Down below them, we do see, or at least I can see on the map, Finstrike is lurking. We call them Finstrike. It's the Windstrike meme, but it's actually Finland. We'll go with that one. We'll keep going with the countries just in case you don't watch the PL, you don't know how things go down. But Finland is lurking in the distance. Picado, it has been taken over by Korea. They are plumb center. They're happy for now. Los Leones, Argentina. They've got a good old foothold inside that town. No one's really going to do much in there because that'll be locked down. But if you do want to rotate all the way down in the south, if you want to take that coastal road, you have to be very, very careful. There are two teams side by side, Matrim. We see Russia and we see China. They're causing a bit of a blockade. It looks like USA, from my angle, are actually taking the western side, so they'll avoid that. But this is the scenario that I was just speaking about.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a setup. You can see that Kimba's taking a little bit of damage back on this. China feels like they're feeling pretty aggressive about this. They have a nice angle. Godby's up to the side of it. But Summer's just got a bead right back over on Kimba, and that's going to be a easy down coming up for Summer.
He had a bullet in the side of the helmet. You could see the mark, and he finds a second one. Kemba goes down. That should be initial follow-up. 1 point moves to China. They will claim the first scalp all the way down to the south. So now Russia, I can see them just backing off. They have to be very careful, though, because as they rotate, I do see Chinese Taipei lingering in the distance. So it's provided they're careful on that route, they will pretty survive this one. But with 3 players, it's going to be difficult, because that circle is going to be a hell of a traverse upwards.
I mean, this area in general can just be kind of messy, depending on how you have to make your ways through it. Naturally, we do have Germany, we're talking about very centered up, but looks like we've got Canada on the move right next to Basel. Is he going to find the angle for it? Going to take a couple of shots, but not going to connect with a lot. That's going to get a little bit of damage onto the vehicle, but it looks like Maluk is going to make it back off onto the hills. You can see Moody immediately stopped on that and is going to reposition around.
The call didn't come through quick enough. Can't have hurt the vehicle just in time, otherwise he would have moved onto that roadside. The 16, yes, it's not a full automatic AR, so you're always going to have a difficult one. It does kick like a donkey at times when you're spraying away with it, but certainly a warning comes through from Maluk. gets away with his life. Didn't even think they were attacking it, to be honest. So happy days for now. El Pozo, you can see just on the western side, that's where USA will take their route. They'll go up to the north, maybe potentially kick it in around La Copa area and punch it in potentially again somewhere around Tornio Ada. You see Cruz de Val as well. You do have that hillside that they could, which will provide them cover. Water treatment will be hot. People have to be careful of this. If you're going to make an entry point in the western side of that circle, you will have several teams. Team Great Britain, they're plumb center of that scenario which I was speaking about. Korea just below them. Thailand's there as well, and so is Australia around the water treatment. It depends what Australia do. If they move and play border control, then they will catch these teams that are rotating more towards the northern side of the circle.
We've got Canada that's kind of encroaching back over next to where we can see Vietnam did make the stop over for it. Luke is up on the high ground from this, looking back down. It looks like he fed the information over. So we have Canada kind of creating a line, looking back over towards 2 members of Vietnam. The other 2 members look like they're doing a little bit of a rotation out around and might be creeping up back behind the other side of Canada.
Cautiously for now. I've already been warned. More shots coming through onto Drassel. I mean, it's dangerous because you are downwind of this fight and there are only 2 men. At 50% your capacity, you are going to be taking a fight on a deficit side.
And it's right in the center, and there's going to be so many teams rotating through.
The problem is Canada have problems of their own. He's seen that. He definitely saw that the grenade was transitioned through. They're going to start to pull back. I think Silzen's saying, okay, we don't want nothing to do with this. We'll just force ourselves back. So Canada holds its ground. They've got 2 teams though either side. And that's what they have to be careful of on the next rotation. Learn where these people are. Make sure they keep a track of them. Just don't let them wander away and hide away. Because then when you move forward off the back of this transition, you could be running into an open trap. Pew.
He's in a, looks like he realized he was in a little bit of trouble. Reels did have an angle back over for it. So Pio's just going to get back out of there. And it feels like everybody's got a really good amount of information gathering at this stage.
Oh my.
Michael takes a couple of shots. Looks like he regrets that real quick.
There was a warning shot that came through from Reels, but as you mentioned, Michael did get a warning one back. The pan potentially could have saved him. Oh, China again with the second one. This time it's on to Japan. So Japan, the team that picked up the first frag, they do lose a player. Gabba goes down at December 12th. He finds one. SLR, bullet to the brain, confirms it. Job done. 1 point to them. China at the moment, let's have a look at their position on the map. Where are they? Okay, so they're quite far, to be fair.
Yeah,
Turkey, Brazil, Russia. There are so many teams still outside the circle up against the blue.
I mean, this could be very, very messy for a couple of these guys. Brazil looked like they were opting going up towards the north. This is going to get really messy really quickly. Turkey is not taking any shots right now. I think that they're aware that they have a couple of teams around them, and it's really risky. No! Your vehicle's running off on you, man. Well, the beautiful death just watching it roll away. Gonna run right over there next to the Brazil.
If he wasn't going to shoot at the Matrim and give away his position, at least the car will now. He's given up the game. I suppose it could be just a 9,000 IQ player, which gives him some defense. He will watch them in the distance.
See, it looks like 4 players, right? Whenever the vehicle's rolling down and there's a guy walking. See, it's 2 guys, not just one that's going to take those shots back over there. Sixmo switches. Switch. I love it. Oh, man, this is a real aggressive early game. I mean, no surprise coming out from China. These guys are known for very aggressive early games.
We have seen in PL, it was actually Uber, funnily enough, onto Scoom, the seat switch was just disgusting. Drive-by outside of the passenger with an AR, you love to see it. Does go for the style points, I'll give you that. Why not? A doozy. In the distance, do see the vehicle feeding all this information back.
This is in the blue.
Just about to touch on that. I'm assuming you're wondering why, and I am too. But then again, if they are fighting off the back of losing a player quite early on, you're always going to be feeling it. It does a lot to your mental stability, and you want to let players maybe go central of this circle first. This circle is prone to be the biggest hardship. Well, I say you don't really know prone to be the biggest, but if there is going to be a massive hardship, it's in this initial one. Sometimes going central can be your downfall, because once you're trying to get out the middle of the pack, if you do have to go to the edge, then you have so many teams just stacked up on a brick wall in front of you.
But the problem with it is if the circle does go center, now you have nowhere to go because everybody is just set and locked into position. You can see Finland's doing a little drive-by next to USA. This is way up to the north, but it's still back down to the south. Looks like Russia and China did finally manage to separate out a little bit. Japan's making their way into the circle as well. And there is that duo up center that we were talking about. I gotta say, this is not looking too comfortable for Russia or China.
Yeah, this is the main issue now. What side of the map are you on? How do you make an entry point here? Because this will be a border protected circle. The north looking quite good, but certainly open. It's not without its own downfall if you do come in through Thierry Bronca, which I'm already seeing Jempty scouting that out. You would expect to see Jempty does it for Face Clan Team Liquid. I'm thinking old times. I'm seeing him. I'm seeing him with Mexi these days, so it's just rolling back the years a little bit there. Either way, he is the scout. He likes to go off and do his own thing, call out opposition, and certainly a man who can when it comes to finding a team, fighting up against them. He can take his own battles and pick them if needed, but he will find a place for the rest of Finland to come down and follow. Cruz de Val still holds USA just to the left-hand side. Turkey, Japan, and China. Still Russia as well, nowhere near the circle.
One thing I want to point out is we do see Korea playing right against the edge of the circle right now. Looks like they were potentially trying to hunt down a couple of kills, trying to get something off of rotation. But, I mean, with the way we have everything set up, everybody is trying to rotate fairly late. Usually in competitive PUBG, we see a lot of very early rotations. It feels like everybody is still just trying to get a measure of the map and figure out where everybody's going. Finally, Germany is regrouping because they've been in control